All right, Frank, number 65 is one of the fanciest casts that you will see on this entire list. It's The Paper. The Paper is a 1994 comedy drama directed by Ron Howard. It has an all-star cast including Michael Keaton, Glenn Close, Robert Duvall, Marisa Tomei, Randy Quaid, Lynne Thigpen, Jason Alexander, and more. In The Paper, Michael Keaton plays a New York City newspaper editor who is fighting the entire world to break the truth behind the biggest story of the day. Your thoughts on The Paper are: wonderful fun movie, seen it in high school. Get ready for the hurt. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I will say that I didn't hate this movie, but I just didn't see the point of it. I mean, you've got an amazing cast, Ron Howard directing, and I don't know, it just didn't feel like it added up to that much. It kind of, the story felt kind of cliche, and the news story that they were chasing was kind of interesting, and sadly enough still feels poignant in this day and time, but ultimately, I don't know, I felt like I've seen this movie before a lot of times and maybe seen it done better. You know, I feel like everybody is on point acting wise. I think it's just the script that I had a problem with. It's just I just didn't care, you know? One of my notes on here was competent but forgettable. I think that kind of sums up my attitude towards it. If I can be positive about it, I would say that, again, everybody does a great job. Randy Quaid, he's so good in this, and he was great in Quick Change, and he is such a great actor. And I know I said this in the Quick Change video, but it is really sad to kind of see what he's become now. There's a scene that genuinely made me laugh out loud where Michael Keaton and Randy Quaid are basically about to sneak into a New York City police precinct, and Randy Quaid's like, there's no way, we're not going to be able to do this. And Michael Keaton hands him a clipboard and says, a clipboard and a confident wave will get you into anywhere. And literally they do it, and it gets them into the police station. The police reporter is like, the person behind the desk is basically like, oh, okay, they have a clipboard. They must be here. They must be supposed to be here. You have such an amazing cast of dynamic actors, and it just doesn't feel like much of anything dynamic happens. They're chasing this story. There's so little tension to it. Everything just feels like it just kind of clicks into place, you know? There's one point where something happens, and I don't want to give anything away, but something happens where it's you genuinely feel oh, they're not going to make it, you know? But before that moment, everything that happens just feels okay, well, that was destined to happen. We knew that was going to happen, so no surprise there. I think that's my problem with it, and I think that other newspaper movies that I've seen suffer from the same problem. Is you're not grabbing me, you know? The one that I'm thinking of right now is Spotlight, that came out a couple of years ago. It's an interesting story, but at the same time, and you've got a great cast of actors, and Michael Keaton's in that one too, but the drama and the tension just wasn't there, you know? And I don't think The Paper is supposed to be full of drama and tension. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, but at the same time, it's I don't know, the comedy wasn't that funny to me, and the drama wasn't that dramatic. So I had never heard of this movie before you put it on the list, which I really thought was odd because of the people that are in it. Robert Duvall, Michael Keaton, Glenn Close, Randy Quaid. It's it is genuinely unusual that a movie with that much star power gets kind of lost. But then after I watch it, I was like, oh, that's why. It's, again, I go back to that note that I wrote down, competent but forgettable. So Ron Howard's made a lot of other movies that are a lot better than that. And I understand why The Paper is not really on that list of like the great Ron Howard movies. So would I recommend this to anybody? Probably not. Unless you want to see, you know, you're a Michael Keaton completist. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, anyway. Jason Alexander, oddly enough, has like an interesting role in this film in the middle of the height of his Seinfeld fame, which I thought was fascinating, because I didn't think the big four Seinfeld people were like really doing a lot of other things during that period. But it was interesting to see him, and he plays a character that's very different from any character that I've seen him play. And he sort of has a run-in with Randy Quaid's character that I thought was really interesting how that plays out. So that was probably, I would say that was probably one of the most interesting sequences in the entire film, is and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's the scene where Jason Alexander's character and Randy Quaid's character meet. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't think I would recommend this film. Next up is number 66. This is actually a movie that I have seen pop up a lot, kind of in the periphery. I remember when I worked at Target in the movies, music, and books section when I was in college, the DVD of this would always be there. But it is the Clint Eastwood film A Perfect World, starring Kevin Costner. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this. I've heard good things. We'll see how it turns out in the next video. So Frank, thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing to watch these. 65 of them now. That's a lot. We're pushing hard towards 101. And like, comment, share, subscribe. You can do all that stuff. And for you, Frank, again, thank you for watching. Anybody else who's watching, thank you for watching, because you're taking a risk on me. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.